Hi everyone, this video is about traps of positive thinking and law of attraction. And one more time, thanks for inspiring me again and pointing out something very, very important, and I think maybe still that needs some clarification, maybe. Let's see. So the traps of positive thinking and law of attraction, some of you already noticed that, and I have very similar experiences. The more you're trying to be positive and thinking, and it just doesn't work, because if that would be so simple as just applying simple law of attraction, we all would get what we want within hours. As you know, probably already everyone heard about those 7 principles, Lobes of the universe. I just quickly mentioned the principle of mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. No, I cannot just say it. I'm reading it right now for you. And just so shortly about them, it all has to come together. Someone said very smart words. All stars have to come together in a right constellation in order things to occur in your life. And it is like that. That's why it takes so much practice, years for some of us to achieve something, to push through. So no, there is a trap in positive thinking. If you just think positive, write your affirmation, life will be better. Probably it won't. Unfortunately, from my experience and many of you, it takes very deep work on yourself, and very often it takes more than one, I would say not really school, but tradition to follow. So if someone practices yoga, it may not be enough. It probably you need to apply some sort of philosophy, psychology. If someone practices Buddhism for a while, it may feel like it's burnout. It's something it's lacking. All of the traditions have great tools for us to learn, and everyone has different structure to perceive them, to receive them, to understand them, and we always need to choose something that follows our vibration, our structure, that it fits us in a way, like a clothes. So just to mention that, it is really not enough. Just think what you want and you get it. Even when you hear that there was this favorite, of course, one of this favorite in people's best-selling books, Secret, and there is a lot of law of attraction. You may get feeling better just by reading that book, and your vibration is already changing just by reading that book. But it's just one step in order to achieve something. All the people who really achieved whatever they claimed in that book, they were for months working on it and applying it from every perspective. And some of it they probably also apply subconsciously, not just following the moment, following their intuition. And if you would ask them, they would have to also analyze how they achieved that success, how it happened, how the easiness of it. They studied themselves through all this time. So just shortly about those laws. The one was the principle of mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental, it's this oneness, one living organism, and you probably know exactly what does it mean, but it's this oneness that it's connected. We are all connected, and the principle of correspondence, as above so below, as below so above, as within so without, as without so within. That's what they say. It means also that everything what's around us is our mirror. Even things we are noticing every day, it's something that our attention is more likely to grab this day because it resonates with us. That means we vibrate similarly, so we correspond to that situation, to certain people. And now we have this vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. So things are not constant. It's not going to be the way you want to for a long time. it will always change, the good or bad or however you call it. It's in a constant flow. The principle of polarity, everything is dual, everything has poles, and everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. This one may be sometimes hard to understand. I understand it this way, that in order for some people to experience health, they need to go through sickness. In order to experience something in life, you have to go through opposite, because you need a contrast to appreciate that thing you wanted to have. It's not necessary, but we tend to learn more from suffering. And the moment we are trying to think about ourselves, like how kind person I am, how great person I am, then you are pushing away that side about being nasty, and not in the terms of being evil, but in the terms that we all have both good and evil within ourselves. It's just how we apply it, how we choose it. Even the anger and sadness and grief is not bad, because it makes us human, it makes us understand other people. It is needed. Like, imagine if you do not have all these so-called negative emotions and you're trying to help somebody, you will never understand a person who suffers from anything, right? So we just need to relate between one and another, and that finding that balance in relating, I think this is the biggest trouble that we're going through, because yeah, sure, who would like to stay too long on this side of misery and pain? So this is what's happening. That's a trap with this positive thinking, that if you think positively and it's not enough, and then somebody asks you, oh, so you didn't create that thing, you're still working on it. That shifts the guilt on you, that, wow, you're such a baddie because you didn't create that thing yet. Let's try harder. And then you try harder, think more positive, and it's not happening. So this is the trap with putting you in a guilt, and also not going deep within yourself on every level. And it may happen that you do all that work for years. And I also had those examples, and I went through that myself, and I also had other people who were telling me how hard they are working. They had therapy, they approached from every side, they took medication, they applied it from the therapy, from the spiritual part, and yoga and Tai Chi and everything, and they still didn't get there. And you know, if you go back, trace yourself back in time from the moment you started, and see how big is the gap between point A and point B that you have to close. Some of us have enormous, big line, big, gap, road between where we want to be and where we are. So if you go back, I am very sure there is a lot of accomplishments you have on your plate, and you progress. Sure, you may be not quite yet there, but who is really? Because all we get from watching other people is perception. It's how we perceive this person. We don't know if this person is satisfied or already thinks that she arrived at the point B where she or he wanted to be. There is the principle of the rhythm. So there is astrologically, especially in astrology, is very nicely shown that there are cycles, the moon cycles, and if you have an astrologist, they always can tell you it's a good time for this and it's not really good time for that, or wait a while. Or they would tell you, hey, this is a good time to marry. Would you like to marry? Well, you have a few months. The stars are by your side. So everything is those cycles. We have the moon cycle and the female cycle, and following them, it's another thing that if we oppose them, we can affirm and think positively as much as we want, but if we do not cooperate with what's in the dough, what wants to happen, what is the rhythm for us and those around us and in our society, then probably we cannot continue to co-create. The principle of cause and effect, that's a very simple one in Newton's law. Everybody knows that. And I'm not talking about a karma, and I'm far from religion here. But just, you know, in physics, it's already stated, every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause. This one probably everybody knows. And there is the principle of gender. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. There is this constant conflict sometimes within us, with other people, about this and what is representing what. And it's again how we relate, how we find this aspect of being masculine and feminine within ourselves, how we find this balance and harmony. So one more time to sum it up. Yes, law of attraction works, and no, it doesn't at the same time. And both are true, and both are not true at the same time. That's the paradox of it. We have to go really deep. It takes really practice. It takes some help. It is step by step. Sure, miracles happen sometimes, but you know, some people work 15 years for this miracle to happen. It seems random for us, but we never know what this other person is really going through or went through in order for that magic to happen. And there is this another guilt that some of you may feel or were trapped into, that, okay, since I'm doing that work, it doesn't work for me, then I guess something is wrong with that. So those two main traps. If you have more traps, please tell me about it, share with me. I would like to collect it all for all of us. We all are learning and are in this together, actually. So the more we can share and explore, better for us, I would say. I think it's enough. I hope I didn't forget about anything. Just taking a moment to think. Yeah, well, happy co-creation. Take a look at, yeah, I had a thought actually. So if you do apply a lot of the knowledge, you read a lot of book, and most of you did. Most of you already draw a lot of conclusions, how it works. So follow yourself. And I make mistakes all the time. And I learn like from the scratch every time on a new level, because our growth, somebody said, also goes in a way spiraling. So even in the cosmic chart in astrology, you're not the same person and you were and as an infant. Even if your chart as a born person is the same, you have all those transits every year. They are influencing you. You are progressing, you are growing. So you coming back to the same issues, the same challenges, but you are, because you learned, you're applying them on a different level. And I like to make mistakes now. I was very much afraid of making them in my life. I was always wanting to be perfect. It didn't happen. And I can tell you that it's a big relief, and I'm telling you from my own personal experience, to not having that pressure to be perfect, that we are continuously in this learning process, and we just, if something doesn't work, then we can always, without this guilt, see how we can approach it in a better way, and just say thank you if someone has something new for us, or say thank you, no, I cannot take it anymore, or just thank you, I will try, or that brings something new for me. So I always say to follow yourself. If some of it doesn't work for you, there is no need to do that. There is some other thing you can follow, and you can you are the master of creating. We are learning to master our creating, our reality, our environment, our influencing and relating to ourselves and other people. And it's okay, we're not perfect, but we're doing our best. So yeah, that's my final thought. I believe in us, and let me know what you think. Share with me, and I'm looking for more inspiration from you too. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.